Mormon comes from a prophet in ancient America who kept the religious records of the people at that time. There were a number of prophets. They all testified of Christ. Those records were buried up in a hill in New York, and the prophet Joseph Smith was led to those plates. He translated them. They're an ancient record of prophets who all testify of Jesus Christ. So the Book of Mormon is a record. It's another testament of Jesus Christ. So we have the New Testament, the Old Testament, the Book of Mormon, another testament of Christ. And so people call us Mormons because of Mormon, the prophet Mormon, and the Book of Mormon.
And you mentioned 10 years ago it was considered insulting to be called a Mormon. Why was that?
Well, it's just a nickname. We still like to be called Latter-day Saints or members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But it's really not a stigma because we're well known that way. In fact, if you look in London now, you see all the signs, the Mormons are coming, the Mormons are coming. And there's a play out now called the Book of Mormon musical. It's kind of derogatory. It makes a lot of fun. It's a lot of satire. It's really not very respectful. But hey, the Mormons have been here for 175 years in England, and they're here to stay. And it does call attention to the church. And all we would say is read the book. It'll change your life. The Book of Mormon's wonderful. It's right along with the Bible, the scripture about Jesus Christ.
And that kind of brings me on to a question that I didn't mention before, but if you could answer it, that would be great.
Okay.
Mitt Romney is a Mormon, obviously.
Yes.
And since he's become a candidate for the US elections, Mormon has been researched more than it ever has before. In the past, well, not ever, but in the past 5 years, it's been researched more on Google than it ever has been before. Since he became a candidate, would you say that's a reflection on interest to the church, or people trying to speak to you about the church? Or?
Oh yes, it's opened up a lot of questions about the church. The media's been focusing a lot on the church. We welcome that. We want them to know more about the church. We want them to know more about the restoration of Jesus Christ's church in these days. And the church is neutral politically. The church does not endorse candidates. We're in the business of teaching about Jesus Christ. But more knowledge about the church because of very prominent people in the church, not just Mitt Romney, helps the missionary work.